I'm a lawyer, a retired lawyer. I have 2 daughters, 2 granddaughters.
I was born in 1939. That seems like a long time ago, even to me.
I'm a wife and mother of 2 children. I've been a business person, but certainly being a mother is the toughest job I've ever had.
Well, I'm really excited about voting this year for the first time. My grandfather, he was a professor back when Kennedy was in office, and we've always had this great relationship with each other.
As a 34-year-old woman, I've never actually had to face the possibility that I wouldn't have a choice.
I'm a fashion designer, and I have my own company, and I've had many opportunities in my life.
What's so beautiful about this country is that women have a choice.
The reason why I did decide and became pro-choice, when I was 13, I was raped.
I knew 11, 12, and 13-year-old girls who had babies.
I sat in church, and being an Italian Catholic, it's very looked down upon, contraceptives and abortion and all the above.
When we graduated from junior high school, the night of graduation, we knew who was pregnant and who would not be going on to high school.
So I felt very alone at that point in my life, and I knew I had 3 choices: to keep it, to give it for adoption, or for abortion. And I prayed in church, and I prayed so hard that I wasn't pregnant.
I've known girls who were raped by their stepfathers, raped by their fathers.
And I thank God that I wasn't. But God knows, if I had had that baby, I don't know what I would have done. But just the fact that I had the choice to know I had a choice.
I'm a 75-year-old woman who can remember what it was like before Roe v. Wade.
My mother, who is now 90, was forced to have a back alley abortion between me and my sister, who was born in '42. She was ill. She had an overactive thyroid. She was extremely thin. She was anemic, and she had a hole in the base of her spine that was oozing pus. And the doctor said, this was a doctor in a clinic, in a ward in a hospital, if you have this second child this soon, you will die.
I don't really think about this much because of the fact that I've never had to, you know? It's not something that I have ever had to deal with in terms of a choice of whether or not I could or couldn't have an abortion. So it's been a really, this election is really bringing that up for me.
So the doctor said, I will give you a name and a number. And she called the number, and that person called a number, and that person called a number. And my mother wound up alone, because my father had to work. She wound up alone at the door of a back alley abortion clinic. She knocked on the door, and somebody came to it who said the following words: if we are raided, you will be left on the table alone.
This election is the first time I've ever had to imagine that as a possibility, and I can't even fathom it.
But it was life or death. And so she went in, and she did have the abortion, and she went home bleeding and sick, all by herself, scared to death, not knowing whether the people who had done the job, the abortion, were in fact medical people, knew what they were doing, had sterilized instruments.
We absolutely need to go out and vote this particular election because things can be taken from us that we never knew we could live without.
I cannot even imagine our going back to a time when a daughter of mine, a granddaughter or a great-granddaughter, or a granddaughter of any woman would have to be forced to go to a back alley.
I do think when we talk about choice, we so often internalize it and say, oh, how would I deal with that? Oh my goodness, how scary that would be, what courage it would take for either decision. But I think the really important thing to do is think about other women who are in different situations than we are, especially because we are a nation of laws. And many women are in really tough situations.
I really don't understand why people think that if women use their right to choose, that they're taking away the life of a baby. There may be many circumstances that have to do with the fact that they can't have this child.
A child is completely a full-time job, and these women may be in abusive relationships. They may be only 14 years old. They might be drug addicts themselves, but there's so much alcoholism and that sort of thing. It's just a really difficult situation for many women.
We have, I believe, 3 justices that are on their way to retiring.
And I really think it's important that the state not be in control of our life situations and our bodies. It's just a very, very frightening thing.
And once one civil liberty is taken away from us, there's room for a whole lot more.
We need to keep Roe v. Wade in place. People have worked really hard, and we just have to hang on to that.
I don't know it any other way. So when I pass other people by, including my mother, they know something that I don't. They didn't have a choice back then, but now we do.
So when I think about all the people who aren't going to be voting and who sit there and complain, I don't want to hear you complain if you're not going to vote and make a difference like I'm about to make a difference this November.
As women, we can't risk ever giving our empowerment away.
So we have to have that right to choose.
It's too awful to think that my granddaughter or great-granddaughter or anybody's great-granddaughter would have to go back to what my mother went through.
Women and men have fought for decades to hold on to Roe v. Wade to protect women, children, and families.
It doesn't matter what race you are, what color you are, what age you are, what gender. What's important is how you feel about your body and your right to have a choice.
Yes, we can, but we can't go back.
So yes, we can, but we can't go back.
Yes, we can, but we can't go back.
I know that yes, we can, and no, we can't go back.
So go out and vote. Yes, we can, and no, we can't go back.
What I'm fighting for and hoping for is that you will understand what's at stake. Yes, we can, and we cannot go back.